Okay, you guys, so this is 9.4, solving surface area problems, and that's your standard 7th grade geometry, standard number 6. Your objective is that you will be able to find the surface area of a figure made up with cubes and prisms with at least an 80% accuracy given the problems to practice. We have a few vocabulary words, so let me go over those really quick and then we'll get to the actual work. Surface area, use an S or an SA, surface area, is basically adding all the areas of the surfaces together. So for instance, I have this box right here. I will have to add the area of this and this and this and this and this and this face, so that then if I wanted to wrap it with paper, that's basically my area. So all the area around the shape. Okay, so every face is going to be added. The net figure is basically if I were to do this, to open it up and have this right here shape, that would be my net of this 3D box. Okay, so as you can see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I were again to put it together, I'd be able to create my box. Okay, so that is a 3D net. The net figure. So again, if I were to open up a 3D figure into a 2D, lay it flat. So again, that's my net figure. Now, if I had my 2D figure, my net figure, put it back together, I'd be able to create my 3D shape. Okay. A prism is basically a shape that's a three-dimensional shape that has polygons. Poly means many, gon, angle, so many angles as faces, so triangle and everything else. That has two congruent, that's a sign that we're going to use for congruent, basically means the same, polygon shaped bases. Okay, so for example, if you have something that looks like this, that would be a triangular prism. The two polygons that are parallel to each other are this right here. So this triangle right here and this triangle right here. Those are my parallel polygons, because this one right here and this ones are connecting, so they're not parallel. And then the bottom right here and this are connecting. You have them like this. So those are not your bases. So don't think that whatever's on the bottom is your base. These two right here are my bases. Okay. They're exactly the same, they're congruent. Okay, again, if I were to have something that looks like this, something that looks like this right here is not my base, this right here are my bases. Okay, the pentagons. So again, this will be a triangular prism, it's named after its bases. This will be a pentagon prism. Okay, so make sure that you know that, because that's going to be important for us to find the surface area using the formula. And then lastly, lateral area is the area of all the faces except the bases. So let me draw something again. For this one, the lateral area will be everything excluding this two. Okay, so basically the sides. So basically you have this right here, one rectangle, and then you have another rectangle right here, and then you have this over here. So those are going to be your lateral, that's going to be your lateral area. Okay, so let's get to the actual solving of the surface area. Okay, so there are different ways to do it. You can use the formula, you can do it by doing the net figure. So I'm going to show you both ways and you choose whichever one is easier or preferred by you. So this one I'm going to lay it flat. So I'm going to open the box and make it a net figure first. And this one right here, this side, so that's a 12. That's 12 by 15. And then I'm going to take this one right here. Again, that's 12 by 6. I'm going to take this one right here. And then I have the bottom one right here, which is going to be right here. And then lastly, I have this one's right here. So this and this. And they go right here. So now that I have my net figure, I'm going to figure out the area for each one of those shapes and then add them all together to find my surface area. So how do we find the area of rectangles? Because basically that's what we have right here. We do base times height or length times width. So I have 6 times 12, that's going to be 72 square inches. 72 square inches right here as well. I have 15 times 6, that will be 90. So 90 square inches, same right here. Then lastly, I have 15 times 12, 180 So 180 square inches, 108 square inches, and I'm gonna add them all together. So 180 plus 180, that's 360, and then 90 plus 90 is 180, and then 72 plus 72, that will be 144. Add them all together. My answer, my surface area is 684 square inches for this prism right here. Okay, same prism using the formula. So here we go. This one you have to know what each of those terms mean. So surface area equals perimeter of the base. Now remember the base. This one is easier because they're all rectangles. So you can use any of them for the base. I'll do one like this and then I'll do a triangular one so you can see the difference. So I'm going to take my base, which is this right here. Now perimeter. Okay, do not get confused. Perimeter is basically the distance around my rectangle. Okay, so in this case I have 12, right? So let me draw it for you right here. I have 12 inches by 15 inches, 12 inches, 15 inches. Remember perimeter, I'm going to add them all together. So that's 30 plus 24 more. Also, if you want to know the area, I'm sorry, the perimeter of a rectangle is 2 times base plus height. So that's 27 times 2, that's 54. So this is 54 inches. 30 plus 24 is 54. And then my height is how tall my prism is. So this is 6 inches. So I'm going to say 54 times 6 inches. Plus 2, the area of the base. So again, I'm taking this as my base. So that's 180. So times 180. And I'm going to do the math now. I'm going to multiply this times each other. 6 times 4 is 24. Carry 2 over. 32. 30 plus 2 is 32. And then plus 360. So I'm going to add those two together. So that's my area. Same answer that I got using the formula instead of doing all of this. I prefer this one. It just takes a little more brain power sometimes just to make sure that you're getting everything right and then do the math. Area is always squared because you're counting the squares inside, and then also the other way to actually explain it well is because you're multiplying inches times inches. So when you do that, you end up with square inches. Usually when you do 3 times 3, you end up with 3 square. Okay. One thing before I forget, this one right here. So whenever you have a composite 3D figure, like for instance this one, you have a triangular prism on top of a rectangular prism, make sure that you don't include that face that connects both of them. So for instance, in this case, you do not connect this one, you don't count. So then you have to remove it. From this one you have to remove the bottom rectangle, and then this one you also have to move the bottom rectangle because that's connecting, so you don't count that. You only want to go around it. Okay, unless otherwise specified. So let me go ahead and do a triangular prism for this one, and then I'll give you one to practice. Okay, before we get anywhere, I want to explain how this works. Hopefully you can make sense out of it. So why does this formula work and why is it set up this way it is? So the reason why is because if you take your perimeter, okay, of the base, which is this right here, and you times it by the height, you're basically going like this around it. So as you can see, I took care of all the sides. Okay, so if I had a box, if I have this box, I'm taking care of all this right here. Okay, all this right there. So that's that. So this is this, right? And then 2 base, what does that mean? Which is the bottom part, right? Times 2 means that I'm going to take care of the top one as well. So that's how you get surface area using that formula. Okay, now let me do one with a triangular prism. So let me do it using the net, and then I'll do it with the formula. So if I open it up, I'm gonna have something that looks like so. Okay, so that's gonna be the net. This is 20. This right here is 5 feet. This right here is 6 feet. That means that this is gonna be 5 as well. and then this right here is 6 feet, and then my height is 4. So let's do the rectangle first. So then I have 20 times 5, that's 100. Right here is 100 as well. Square feet. And then right here I do 20 times 6, that's 120. And then for the triangle, remember I do base times height divided by 2. Do not be deceived, this is not your height, this is your height. 4 right here. So 6 times 4 is 24 divided by 2, this is 12 inches. Feet. Square feet. And then add them all together. So then I have 100 plus 100 plus 120, that's 320. And then 12 plus 12, that's 24. So I end up with 344 square feet. Okay, for my surface area for this right here. Now let's look at the formula, using the formula. So what's the base of the perimeter of the base? Remember, this is my base, this is not your base. Okay, this are your base because those are parallel to each other. So I'm gonna do the perimeter for this one. Okay, so to find the perimeter for this one, I'm gonna do, remember, it's this two, those are the bases, not anything else, so they're parallel to each other, triangles. So the base will be adding all of them together. So that's 5 plus 5, that's 10 plus 6, that's 16. Okay, and then for the height, I have to flip it. Okay, so it's gonna look like this. Something like that. Okay, so then when I flip it, it's gonna look like that because those are my bases. This is a height. So this right here is the height. Not the height of the triangle, but the height of the actual prism. So if I were to flip it, that's my height. So times 20 plus 2 times the area of my bases. These are my bases right here. How do I find the base of a triangle? Base times height divided by 2. So that's 6 times 5, that's 24. Divided by 2, that's 12. So then you end up with 320 plus 24 more. That's 344 square feet. So same answer, use different method to do it. I personally prefer this one because this one I have to like draw it out. My mind is not so bright that I can actually use kind of like unfold it in my mind. So whatever works for you, that's what you do. So let me give you one to do. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to find the surface area, but before I do that, here we go. First question I'm gonna ask you is, give me the perimeter of the base. 2. What's the height of the prism? Number 3. What is the area of one of the bases? Number 4. Give me the surface area all together. Okay, remember it's gonna be square centimeters. Alrighty, God bless you. You're amazingly brilliant. Don't give up. Bye.